Hey, hey, welcome to Live with Lynn. So if you're here, say hi. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay so I know you were here. I'm Lynn Huber, and I appreciate you being here today. So today I'm going to talk about, can a pessimist become an optimist? I do believe that some people are just born happy. I mean, we see happy babies who are always happy, right? And we see babies who maybe are not so happy. And so yes, I think you could be born as a sort of as an optimist, but there's many factors that come into play. I mean, things like childhood experiences and temperament and environment and maybe economic status, based on where you're at in the world, right? In the economy and genetic predisposition. I mean, there's probably a lot more too, all different kinds of things that play into it, into whether you're an optimist or a pessimist. And and so while these are all valid reasons for sure as to why one person might be more positive and optimistic than another, there's one other factor which may have the power to transform those reasons and just blow them out of the water, right? And that is the power of choice. Hi, Anitra. Hi, Georgie. Good to see you. Thanks for being here today. So that one factor that can just transform all of those reasons why you might be a pessimist, blow them out of the water, seriously, with the power of choice. Optimism is a choice, right? So given a set of negative circumstances, someone with a negative mindset might view this as an all or nothing catastrophic event, right? On the other hand, though, those people who have positive, optimistic mindset, they might feel like that the impact of the negative circumstance, they'll feel it, and then they'll evaluate their choices, and then they'll go on to make the best decision based on the situation that they're in. So they know that they're in control of being able to make that decision, and also they're in control about how they choose to react to that event, right? So along those same lines, I mean, those that have positive mindsets of optimism are more apt to also choose a more constructive and useful attitude. You know, um, yeah, you might have a bad day or whatever, but it doesn't mean that you have to dwell in it, right? So while we might not be able to change our circumstances, we can change our reaction and we can change our attitude towards those very same circumstances. Hi, Cindy, good to see you. So, but what if you're typically a pessimist? What if that's just your natural, you're just, you see the bad in everything, you're just a pessimist, right? Is all hope lost for you? Is it possible to change? The answer is a big yes, because being a pessimist or an optimist is really more of a habit. It's more of what you got used to doing. It's more how you're used to seeing the world. And like habits, with some work, you can change your habits, right? So let's look at some of the ways to do that. So how can a pessimist become more optimistic? Well, the first one is brain training. While changing any part of your personality is never an easy task, it is doable. And you have to want it, though. It's something you have to want. Chances are, if you tell a pessimist that he or she can change their outlook and change their life, most likely you're going to be met with some cynicism, right? Or like, who do you think you are, or whatever, right? But after all, it's a pessimist that we're talking about, right? But if that person makes the decision on their own, say perhaps they're seeking to find their purpose in life or finding more joy, there's certainly more of a chance of success because it's something that they want, right? So through practice and some brain training techniques, a pessimist can most certainly become more optimistic. So you have these neural pathways in your brain, literally the circuits in your brain that, they travel along these neural pathways. And when you change the way that you think or the way that you look at things, it actually starts to create new neural pathways through your brain. They've actually proven this, that when you change how you think, new pathways are being created throughout your brain. And so by being aware of how you react to things and changing how you react, then you can create those new neural pathways. It just sort of happens as a result. It's not like you know that you're doing that, but by changing how you react and changing how you view things, that changes those neural pathways. So another way is focus, because what you focus on expands, always. So constantly focusing on what's wrong and what doesn't work is a surefire way to get more of the same, right? Situations where just about everything can and usually does go wrong, right? But if you focus on the good things, you're going to get more of the same there too. You're going to get situations where things go right because you're focused on the good things. If you focus on good things, more good things are going to come your way. And there's plenty of positive circumstances in life to focus on. Look around you. What does go right in your life? Count your blessings. What do you have to be grateful for? What does work? Okay, maybe you failed this time. Maybe you really screwed up. Maybe something didn't go right. I don't know. And I'm not trying to make light of anything. Maybe you had a car accident or, God, it could be anything. I'm not trying to make light of anything, but there's always something. You might not see it in the moment, but there's always something that you could be grateful for. There's something that went right. Something, whether it just be what went right was you weren't pinned in the car, or they were able to get you out, or maybe the right person came to help you, or something was right? Even if it's little, even if it's tiny, right? Another way is perception. So when faced with adversity, there's some semblance of a silver lining somewhere within those circumstances, right? As a pessimist, you might think that that's the end and that you failed. But what if you work to view the ending as a beginning or a new lesson learned? I've heard of people that have said, well, I lost my job and yeah, it was horrible, but you know what? It ended up being a blessing because I was able to go on and start my own business. I have people on my Avon team, me, that job didn't work out. And then Avon was able to fill in that gap, and you're like so much happier now, right? And I'm not plugging Avon, but I'm just saying something could be, it could be a beginning, right? Or a lesson learned, right? So even a pessimist can find deeper meaning instead of looking through a negative lens if they work at it. Another one, internalizing. So while an optimist views the proverbial glass as half full and a pessimist views it as half empty, what if that pessimist didn't internalize the circumstances as personal to themselves? In other words, what if something happened simply because it happened and not because the pessimist has bad luck, right? Moving away from that woe is me way of thinking opens the door to a broader view, and it removes the unfortunate situation as having any meaning to the person themselves, right? So another way is storytelling. Another way a pessimist can move away from the negative thinking is to tell themselves and other people different stories. So instead of seeing only the stories surrounding the circumstances all black, for example, maybe a pessimist might say they have no luck, everything always happens to them, or everyone else gets what they want, right? A pessimist can opt to see it in black and white, not just in black. They can, something happened because something happened. It is what it is, right? No story attached. So if you work at changing the focus and perception along with not internalizing, and you start telling a new story, soon even a pessimist is able to see the glass as half full and have a life full of optimistic results. So is it going to be easy? No, probably not, right? It's a process. The key is to work on getting better every day. And as long as you're working on it and you're growing, you're moving in the right direction. So, hey, now I'd love to hear from you. Are you naturally a pessimist or an optimist? Have you ever even thought about it? Have you ever given any thought to whether you're a pessimist or an optimist? And what kinds of things help you to be more positive and be more optimistic? Please get down in the comments and share your thoughts. I would love to hear your stories. Anitra says, how about living as a blind child and then high school discovering an organization like NFB to get a person like me where I am now? Yes, the National Federation for the Blind, I believe, is NFB. So yes, Anitra's blind, and she does amazing things. She doesn't let that get in the way at all. And so, yeah, look at that. How about living as a blind child and struggling, I'm sure, and then in high school discovering that organization, the National Federation for the Blind, to get a person like me where I am now? That's pretty cool. But she's also pretty optimistic. So very good. So I got it right. So anyway, you guys, I'd love to hear your stories. Share them in the comments. Thank you, Anitra and Georgie and Cindy, for being live with me today, and anyone else who might be live and anyone who's watching the replay. I appreciate you. So go out there and have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.